Hey everybody, it's Jen again, and today I'm here to talk money. And I'm out here trying to hit goals and just kill it. I'm going to be talking about budget more specifically, something that is very big in my life right now. One of my biggest goals right now is basically trying to do a whole lot with very little. So I have a very small salary, in my opinion, especially with how much I work. And I have a lot of lofty goals that I want to achieve with this salary. So kind of squeezing blood out of a rock, if you will. And that's what I want to talk about with y'all. So this is the introductory video into this topic. And yeah, so before I start talking about goals and all of that, let's talk about what mind space I'm coming from, like how I was, how I've changed, where I want to go. So pretty much until about 2016, I was pretty crap with money. Straight up crap with it. Gosh, and between like 16 and like 23, 24, I was insanely crap with money. So, let's just start, when you're 18. Well, when I was 16, they didn't even have debit cards or anything around here, so I didn't have to worry about that. But when you're 18 and I moved to the big city and like you're just smacked with credit card offers all the time, I got in on the student loan thing because, what's, more smart than handing a 18-year-old fresh out of high school, just moved to the city, thousands of dollars in debt. I mean, whole nother story, whole nother day. Needless to say, I was in the big city. I was trying to keep up with these rich city kids. I am neither a city kid nor a rich person. It's a whole nother video topic for a whole nother day. Like when you grew up poor, how you look at things different than other people. Oh, didn't realize that we were so much different until like I work with people that's never been poor, and like the mind, just whole nother story, whole nother day. But yeah, needless to say, I swapped that credit card. I had student loan debt, all this kind of stuff. Again, whole nother discussion for a whole nother day. And which I paid all my debts off. Didn't have anything to show for it afterwards because I poured all my money into debt, and I was a poor budgeter. The mentality that I had up until 2016 was, I think, what a lot of us have is you pay your bills, and then anything that's left in your account you can spend, right? So that's how I treated my finances, like I said, until very recently. I would pay my bills as long as my bills was getting paid and debt was being paid down, and I had some left over afterwards that I could spend and buy stuff. That's all that mattered. I was truly just living paycheck to paycheck, like I think so many of us are. So what changed? Well, first thing is I got a job with regular hours. So I worked in food service and retail for a very long time, a lot of years. I worked contract, temp work. I cleaned houses with my own little business, etc. and so forth. And I sometimes would make way more money than I'm making now, but it wasn't consistent money. So it was very hard to get a handle on. So now I make pretty much, within $10-15 of each other every 2 weeks. Have a very set number of hours. I usually get around 40 hours. So it works out. And I started working in the financial industry. So I was having to look at people's finances all the time, and it was like having a mirror reflected back to me, and I saw how I did not want to be in my future and how I really wanted to be. So I got exposed to people just killing it with money, and I got exposed to people that were being killed with money. And I just decided I wasn't going to do that anymore. I didn't know quite how to go about it, but I decided that ain't me. So the first thing I did for the first 3 or 4 months is I just wrote down everything I spent. because I had no idea what I was spending on what. I mean, other than bills, you get a bill that says it's $112.37. You spend $112.37 on that. But I had no idea what I was spending on groceries, like any eating out, if I had bought someone a birthday present, just buying stupid crap, how much I was spending on pet food. Groceries, I tell you, was the one that killed me the most, and just spending it on crap, like Mad Money type crap. And if y'all remember my office overhaul and declutter series, y'all know I used to buy a lot of crap. If y'all remember my old Holland days, I used to buy a whole lot of crap. But it was just astounding to me, because after I just wrote down everything I spent for 2 or 3 months, I forget how long, what I thought I was spending, I was actually spending 3 or 4 times more. And it was just wild to me. And that was my starting point. Around that time, I was redoing this office. I told y'all about the office overhaul, and that really had me confront some things, because I saw all this stuff that I had, and I'm just thinking, man, I would have loved to have the money back from that stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, really, if you want to see a really raw look at that, definitely check that out. But I don't know. And right around that time, when I would be painting in here and doing a bunch of work, I would have podcast on. And around that time, I really started getting into podcast, and I found the Dave Ramsey show here on YouTube, which I think he's been doing radio for decades, but he has a YouTube channel, and then he shows up on the podcast list. So I really started getting into him, and I started going through his baby steps to help get your debt paid off, and it just totally changed everything. Like, here's how pitiful it was, though. So his first baby step is you have to save $1,000 to have a baby emergency fund. It took me the better part of a year to even save $1,000, which, I mean, I was making less than I do now by a little bit, but that's just, my budgeting was just so poor. But that little emergency fund changed everything, which I intend in these series to talk about little aspects of things that have totally just been game changers for me, like emergency funds, sinking funds, zero-based budgeting, simplifying things, how I save money on groceries, things like that, because my stuff is very simple. I'm very busy. I don't have much time, and oh, my thing gave me a warning there. Don't pay me no mind. So I have to have everything be extremely simple and extremely quick. Like, I need to be able to sit down 10-15 minutes max per month and know what's going on. You know what I mean? But that just totally, it's changed everything. How I do my budgeting. I tell you another big thing. I know where every single one of my cents is going. I know every single cent that's coming in, and I know every single cent that's going out, because I work very hard for those cents. I work, or what do the kids say, for that coin. I work very hard for it, and I want to know what it's doing. And there's one saying he has, that you make your money work for you, and it's so true. But I guess I'll get into that in other videos. I don't want to get into too specific of everything, but my mind's totally started changing. That's not to say like everything just went smoothly from the start. I've had so many hiccups, y'all, but I get right back on it, because I have such strong goals in mind. Which let's talk about the goals, right? So my biggest goal is I'm paying for school. So hi, I'm going back to school in between working full-time and doing a YouTube channel and other things. Home renovation, fun times. That's what I'll actually be doing after this, is doing a lot of homework. It's Friday night before this is supposed to go up. Wish me luck. We'll see if it goes up. But, okay, we're recording. I was like, I don't have time to re-record this, buddy. You better be recording all this bright light and all, because it's really late. But that's a big thing, and I'm not doing student loans. Student loan, that is a bad word to me. Loan is a bad word. Like, I don't want it. I busted my butt to pay off my student loans and my car and everything. I don't want it. I don't want it. So that is a big expense, and I mean, even if I have to take one course at a time, I'll do it. I'll be at the community college until the end of spring semester or next semester, and then I'll be bumping up to do the years beyond that, and it's going to end up costing about 2.5 times more than what I'm paying now. So I'm trying to just squirrel as much money away as possible for that, so I have a smooth transition. It's been a transition. You know, another goal I have, I get paid every 2 weeks. I want to be able to pay all my bills on paycheck 1 and just put back paycheck 2. So that's another big one. That's kind of where I'm looking at in the next year or two, paying for school, and then any extra I have is going to be putting in a larger emergency fund, because I would eventually like to have 12 months of expenses and then some, just because I tell y'all another big thing, just freedom, because of poor financial decisions I made in my 20s, I'm paying for them now. Because you do have to just suck it up and deal with a lot of stuff that you wouldn't have to deal with if you had 12 months of expenses in the bank. You would never be stuck. You know what I'm saying? Those y'all, especially that are my age or older, you know what I'm getting at. Like, there's something in the way, I think, or I would imagine, I don't have 12 months of expenses in the bank, but if I had 12 months of living expenses, and let's say you were in a job and it just went to total crap, you could just go. You'd have 12 months to find another job. You know what I mean? Like, it just opens up a lot of opportunities and takes away a lot of stress. Or God forbid something happened and you would need to be out of work for 3 to 6 months. That money stress isn't there. Like, there's just a freedom and a security about it that I crave so much. So that is my short-term goal there. In the long term, I want to become like a retirement fiend. So again, I made very poor financial decisions in my 20s, and I didn't put anything back for retirement. I only started putting back for retirement in 2017. So not good, but better late than never. And so right now I'm just putting 10% in my 401k because I want to get the match, because I'm still trying to squirrel up money for school. But I eventually want to put that at 20%. And I want to have every retirement product I can get my hands on. You know, that's just where I want to be. And then I want to be like ridiculously generous and just, I don't know, that's like long term in the future. But you know what I mean. Let's just talk briefly too. We went down here. I feel like I keep getting interrupted and my train of thought is off. But, well, let's just talk about challenges I've been dealing with here lately, and what I'm going to do month ahead. Well, I'll just put my arm back. Sorry, guys. That's how I usually sit in my chair. I have terrible posture, and I just kind of sit however. So y'all just, it's all right. I got bedhead anyway. I laid down so I could pop my neck. I worked almost 12 hours today. Yeah, it's been a long day. I've been going. I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning, and it's 9:12 at night. So, been a long day, and I still have 2 or 3 hours to go. We're going to get there, though. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. We might do a video about scheduling and stuff here coming up, too. Ain't stressing about it, though. But, I tell y'all, I've been doing great on my budget for the last year, and the last 2 months I've not been doing as well as I liked. I switched grocery stores, so every time I switch grocery stores I have about a month transition where I go over on my grocery budget until I figure out all the aisles in the store, how much stuff's supposed to cost, etc. and so forth. I also switched up my diet, so I've been trying to learn different foods I can buy and the prices of them and everything. So that has been a challenge. I switched financial institutions where I keep my accounts, and that's been a challenge too, just getting everything switched over and figuring out with the transition and learning the new like mobile app with it, and just, you know what I mean, which is, it's going to be so much better. I can't even, it's going to be so much better. But that's been a transition, and I don't do well with change right off anyway. I just don't, but we're settling down in that. And then for me, just being realistic. So I would like to be that person that just has like $10 in their eating out / entertainment budget. But I have a Dunkin' Donut coffee addiction, which luckily those are just like $2 a piece. But a couple days a week, y'all, I go through the Dunkin' Donuts and I get me a $2.42 large iced coffee. And yeah, so I count that into my budget now. Fridays I treat myself. I go out and I usually get a salad at either Zaxby's or one of the local restaurants that does a salmon and avocado salad. It's great. They're about $7 to $9 depending on which one I get. So I've been putting that in my budget. I mean, I think I spend a lot less than some others on eating out every month, but I do spend about $65 to $75 for the month. So I would like to be that person that spends 10, but I'm not. And just making things realistic with my needs now, and yeah, it'll be a challenge. I need to do my budget for September. I have a couple of days off next week, so fingers crossed I actually sit down and do it. But yeah, I think that's kind of going to be it for my introduction. Like I said, in this series, I hope to show y'all things I've used that's helped me. Like I said, zero-based budgeting, sinking funds, having a master list of all my bills throughout the entire year. I cannot tell you how many times I see people get messed up because they'll have something that is debited or due once a year and they totally forget about it. It's like, dude, if you know it comes out in November every year, have that money ready in November. Whole nother story, whole nother day. Cash budgeting, and just all that stuff, simplifying things. You know, what do I do to have it working like a well-oiled machine? Because my goal with everything in life in general is I want to set up a system that, you know, I'm going to put those little gears in place and pulleys, and honey, when I walk away, it's just going to be running like it's supposed to. You know, it's like a Ronco rotisserie cooker. Y'all remember those? You set it and forget it, and you come back and you got a wonderful chicken. You know, that's what I want stuff to be, and that's where I'm trying to get with it. But yeah, if there's anything money related or budget wise that you'd like me to talk about, please put it down below. I'm total budget nerd. I really am here lately because, like I said, I have goals that are so just important to me, and sometimes I do need a couple smacks in the face to remind me of them. But I tell you too, there's nothing that makes you do better at school than knowing how much you paid to be there. So you're going to sit and you're going to do that homework because you paid a lot of money to be given this homework. Know what I mean? But I'm getting silly and I'm trying to procrastinate said homework. So I'm going to get to it, y'all. Thank you for watching the introduction into my money series. I hope we can have a lot of fun in this one. If you got any budget tips, leave them for me down below. If you got anything you want me to talk about, leave that down below. Yeah. And with that being said, I hope y'all are having a good one. Root for me that I get this up by tomorrow. I'm filming this on the 6th. It's 9:18 now, so fingers crossed I get it up for y'all on the 7th. But thank y'all so much. Y'all have a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, night, just whenever you're watching this, and I will see y'all next week. with another video. Bye, guys.